Today, talk about the power of being. I titled. We do got a video clip we're going to show. It's like a guy talent right on. I say my guy. I'm not talking about uh nothing against. I've never delved into Tyler the Creator catalog at all. A lot of times, what I find with rappers, I'll end up based upon philosophy, and a lot of times, those philosophy they are be used. So it'll be from that person being or on their radar that way. Watching what their philosophy, how they feel about certain, and then that ultimately into their music catalog. Same thing happened with Nipsey Hussle. So I haven't delved into Tyler Creator's catalog at all yet, but it's getting there. But we're going to tap into one of his videos, minute long, and he talks about how he's been able to do him this whole time. Probably one of the main reasons why I haven't gotten into his catalog, because it takes many different forms. Tyler the Creator has shown up, from what I've seen in my research, extra rambunctious in his musical style, super let's say non-politically correct, just saying crazy. He was almost like, I would have compared his earlier, and this is with me without me delving into his catalog, so don't get on me for those of y'all who really are into it. I'm just talking about snippets that I've heard through watching interviews. You know what I mean? But I would compare his older style, his like the style that he first showed up on the scene with, more so to ICP. If y'all know who ICP is, go do your research on these crazy mom. They're crazy. That's the Insane Clown Posse. They did like rap mixed with hip hop, but they were, yeah, I mean, one of the songs is Dating Game. That's the song I would say look up from IC Clown Posse. I'll even try to put it in the comments. How do I know about this? Because I'm eclectic. Grew up in the hood my whole life, but my best friend as a child, he was eclectic, had a super eclectic music collection, so I was able to kind of listen to a little bit of everything, pick some things up that I liked, throw some things out. But Insane Clown Posse, is if you hear that thing as a 10-year-old, especially from the middle of the hood, that you never heard nothing like that, you're definitely going to say the least, be very entertained by it. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things. But yeah, so Tyler the Creator came out with like shocking type of music that was kind of like in your face and would make you either hate it or love it. And then he's evolved over the years. He got into the R&B phase, all types of stuff. So his catalog jumps. But I don't want to keep y'all or myself on here too long. And as this grows, or until this podcast grows to its full peak, we're going to go straight into the episodes. We're already 4 minutes in. So we're going to watch what Tyler the Creator has to say about being his authentic self, how he's able to accomplish it, and then we're going to take some of what he said, break it down, and then we'll see how we can form this or cultivate this attitude and walk as our truest selves as well. Because Tyler the Creator, from what he says, we're not all as blessed as he has been with that cultivation. But there's still ways to cultivate who you truly are so you can show up as that person every single day. All right after the intro, we're going to get straight into that video on Tyler. Then we're going to break that thing down. Get into it. Intro.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm going live. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. And right, I'm going live. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Ether's world, Ether's world, Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Sit down with your girl and just relax. Just put it on the table while I'm showing y'all these stats. Facts, stand tall, never laying on my back. No, and I spit the truth and in the comments y'all react. Trending topics, we got options. We gon' learn and we gon' pop shit. All the shit that's going on around us, damn, it's never stopping. Give you what you want, no, I give you what you need. Sit down at the table, take a seat, it's time to eat, yeah. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, I'm going live. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, yes it is. It's a vibe, you're right, I'm going live. Ether's world, Ether's world, Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Ether's world, yeah, that's me. Ether's world, Ether's world, what? Sit down with your girl. Go grab a drink, get real comfy, sit down.
Right. I always put the headphones on so I can hear my song. I mean, that's actually because it's the theme song. I never get to listen to it. So I only get to hear it on Sundays. Yes, y'all, I like my own music. I listen to it often. As far as my own music catalog. All right, so let's get straight into what Tyler, the creator, has to say about being himself. And then let me put these damn headphones back on. I can hear what he's saying and break this thing down. Yeah. All right, let's go. Tyler, the creator. Be yourself.
That is just like, I had a mother who was like, yeah, go on dance. Just that idea, and I've just always been a super curious, okay, what's that over there? Like, I hosted my kindergarten graduation. Like, I was the MC. It wasn't a teacher. Like, I was like, all right, guys, that was the dance class. Up next, we have Ron that's going to show us a magic trick before we get to the ceremony. Like, that was me. So I've always been like,
Yeah.
that guy.
You don't know any different.
Yeah, it's just me. And, you know, some people are more quiet and reserved and observant. And some people are center of attention, And the nurturing part from that is just like, I had a mother who was like, yeah, go on dance. Go on do this. And it just says, oh, okay, f it. And you just keep growing up with that energy, that thought, that, just like that. So then when it comes to like having like aspirations or dreams or goals, growing up, not worrying about what other people think or knowing you can just do it, it goes to that. So it's like, I'm going to do that in 10 years. And then when it happens, people are like, how did that happen? And it's like, I don't know. It's just, that's just how I think.
All right, y'all. So, as y'all can see, this man, Tyler, super comfy with being himself. Like, the way he dresses is super comfy. The way he talks, everything. But there's one key thing that he says. Tyler, the creator, says one key thing on what has helped him to cultivate that, to be okay with always showing up as him. And that was his mother. He had a mother that was very supportive, who basically cheered him on. When he was going out to dance, go ahead, baby. So what we're going to talk about is how do you cultivate this if you don't have necessarily the cheerleading section there? If you don't have the mom, the dad in the stands at every basketball game, if you don't have the friends who are the super fans, because there's another part of that clip where he talks about having people that are cheering him on the whole way. So he did have a lot of support. Gary V, another great example of someone who definitely was shown a lot of support. Like he basically said his mom told him he could do no wrong and he was the shining remark of a kid. Now, let's be real, y'all. Most of us don't grow up in those situations. Uh, most of us aren't in those situations. And I would even say not to necessarily put classism straight on it, but there does come to be like a certain amount of privilege, even to have a mom or a dad. When I talked about a dad showing up to a game, that's a certain type of privilege, even on an economic status. If you even think about the dads who are, yeah, I mean, want to come to the kids' game, but just can't because they got to be at work. They got to pull a double. Like most of the times when the kids plays, that's their shift where they're pulling doubles. So there does come a certain amount of uh, uh, privilege to even be able to have that attitude. Another thing is for someone to be able to truly believe in what you're doing and what you got going on, they have to know it's possible. So for a lot of us who've grown up on more so of the lower economics side of the track in our environment, we just haven't had massive examples of people going to accomplish their goals and getting it done. And of course, I'm not downplaying us or what we've accomplished. Yes, we've accomplished big things, but what I'll say is it's not so close. It's not like your neighbor's a doctor, your other neighbor's a lawyer, and then your other neighbor just won the chess tournament in college. You know what I mean? It's not like that. So our examples of success are a little more spread out than amongst other cultures and races. So with Tyler the Creator, he is a black guy. You know what I mean? He had a mom that did push him to a certain level, who believed in him ultimately. So that was a big success. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's Russian, but Russian? I want to say he's from Russia, yes. But same thing. His parents came over and struggled, but still they had that family structure and that belief even in the American dream to get it done. So what happens, like we said, if you don't have all of those things put in place, or if you have the parents who are super busy, super hard working, and they can't be around to necessarily pay attention to everything you're doing, or if you're grown but you grew up in that atmosphere. Because one thing, and y'all, if y'all really continue to watch me, you'll know I speak about it often, is healing the inner child. So even if something happened or you experienced a series of situations in your childhood, they'll still affect you to this day, no matter what your age is. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, if you don't begin to deal with it, or if you were to set a bad example, begin to cultivate new things to kind of set things on the right, correct course. So at the end of the day, the whole importance of this talk is there's no one like you. Like Tyler the Creator and Gary V are both pure examples of that. Nipsey Hussle. There's a lot of people out here, really the successful people, Obama. I mean, successful people, even if you look at someone's approval rating in the presidency. I mean, if you really look at, let's say, Trump's approval rating versus Biden's approval rate. Now, we can all say that our country was more so up in arms, more upset. There was more people vocally mad about who our president was at the time. This president that we have right now is really quiet. You're not really hearing too much. As with all presidents, you'll hear people say, I don't like this, I do like that, but it's not like people were in outrage with Trump. Right now, it's not like that. It's like any other president that you may not like or may dislike. But what I'll say is when you look at the numbers, Joe Biden's approval rating is much lower than Donald Trump's approval rating was. Why would that be? It's because Donald Trump was authentically himself. With Biden, you can't really catch it. You can't really tell. It's not even that he's not himself. It's just like, what are you? What are you? Who is this, right? And this is no shade. This is just talking about personalities as a whole. So when you show up as your true, authentic self, That's always going to be the thing that gets you to where you want to go. And it's also going to be the thing that kind of magnetizes your light or allows your light to shine the brightest. Because there's only one person that can do anything that you want to do like you're going to do it. Like, for example, me as a rapper, even in the 90s, there was a million rappers. In 2022, there's 2 billion rappers. I mean, everyone's a rapper. So if you're a rapper, you have no other choice but to adopt this lifestyle of being yourself. There's many people who are going to follow the trends that are out today, and they may gain some success, but it's not a sustainable thing. The thing that really gets anyone to the highest level of success is them actually tapping into that thing that makes them special. What makes Michael Jackson special. This is what makes Prince special. Janet Jackson. Let's get out of the entertainment realm. What made Obama special. I think of some more people. Malcolm X special. Martin Luther King special. You know what I mean? Rosa Parks. Tupac. Feel me? A lot of revolutionaries. So it's that. Michael Jordan. I mean, there were certain things that made these people stand out. Dr. J to the next level. But if you're mimicking or you get caught trying to follow the trend, you're never going to be able to put that light on that thing that makes you special. What did the Most High give you the plan on when you got down here? Because we all got a plan. So this is the thing. And I believe this is what makes people shy away from tapping into who they truly are. Can't please everyone. That's what I've learned in life. At the end of the day, as an individual, and even if you try to please everyone, there's still going to be people out here that just don't rock with you, don't like you, or say, F that person. I don't know. No. Mm-mm. Right? So that's still going to happen no matter what. But if you're so overly concerned with who likes you, who is banging with you and all that, you'll never be able to tap into who you authentically are, because you're always going to be trying to appease the masses and give these people what they want. And it don't have to, like, right now y'all are watching me through a computer screen, so your brain may automatically be thinking like, yeah, just like with making content. And yes, that's a thing. But even in our own regular lives, in our own social constructs, it's important that we show up as ourselves and we don't just bend, fold, or appease to the wants of others. We gotta make sure we're doing what we feel like we're divinely guided to do, or the thing that makes sense for us to truly do, right? So that's no matter what, if it's in your work environment, in your school environment, in your home environment, you still have to always know who you are, so that way you can be an advocate for yourself. Like, we talk about advocacy. I was just dealing with like stuff with different family members, in and out, dealing with the hospital situation. And the important thing that we were discussing amongst each other as far as the family goes is how important it is to advocate for our family, to make sure that we're saying the things that need to be said, that we're making sure certain things are being taken care of, because if we don't do it, it may not get done. So you have to be your own advocate. That's the same thing in life. At the end of the day, I have to make my own decisions. I can't let people or situations or trending topics fool me. I have to advocate for myself and what I believe is right for my life purpose, or I'll never get it done. I mean, because the world don't care about me discovering who I am. My family don't necessarily care about me discovering who I am. Not to say they don't care at all, but it's not their job for me to do it. I have to do it myself. So my fam could come in with good intentions with something, and it's going to have to be up to me to know who I am and use my discernment on, is this something I want to do? Is this something I don't want to do? Feel me? But as far as pleasing everyone goes, can't worry about that at all. The minute you actually stop worrying about if people like you or what people think about you, is, first of all, the first minute you're going to feel absolute freedom. And second of all, it's going to be when you start to, maybe not at first, but you're going to start to pull in people that truly do resonate with your spirit. That's the horrible thing about pretending to be someone you're not is you're going to attract those people. So let's say if I'm rapping, let's use drill music. Perfect example. Let's say if I'm rapping, I know drill's super popular. I'm from the hood. I got massive stories. I could drill some shit out if I wanted to. So I take on that persona, like, all right, that's what's popping, that's what's trending. I know if I make this type of song, bang, it's gonna be out of here. So all I'm doing is aligning myself with drill. Not saying drill rappers are bad, no, but drill scenarios. And if I'm not really from that life, that's perfect for anyone who's a drill. You know what I mean? That's their lifestyle, so it's not a big deal. But if I adopt something that's not mine, then I'm going to attract that energy. I'm going to attract even those types of friendships to come in. I'm going to have, I mean, people on that level hitting me up like, yeah, yo, I heard that shit. That shit's dope. Like, I mean, so when you're pretending to be someone that you're not, you're actually attracting in more of those people around you. So if you're to my, let's say, Mean Girls, we'll use the movie as an example. It's a perfect example. The girl came from Africa. She was not even, she wasn't even socialized to American living. So she was not a mean girl at all. She wasn't even down. She was shocked herself. She described the scenario of the lunch scene where you got everyone sitting at their respective tables, the jocks, the cool girls, the nerds, right? She described, I think it was that scene, as animals in a jungle. So that's how she looked at the socialization of high school first got to the school. But then under the pressure to fit in, and yes, it's a movie, but movies touch on real life scenarios. They wouldn't be able to be made. We wouldn't understand them if they talked about shit we didn't personally go through. So as the movie begins to go on towards the middle, you see her shifting. Why? Because she wants to fit in. She wants people to like her. So in order for her to fit in, she begins to adopt the ways and basically the protocol of the Mean Girls, how they roll. You can't sit with us type. You know what I mean? That's how they was. So once she adopts that, now she gets everything that comes with that. She gets all that energy. She gets all of the good with the bad. You don't just get the good. She got the good and the bad. She got the fake stuff. She ended up being fake to her friends, and they got mad as hell. Dude wanted his pink shirt back. You know what I mean? He wasn't playing. I want my pink shirt back. I want my pink shirt back. So, yeah, I mean, she ended up getting all the energy that a mean girl would get. But let's say she would have continued to be herself. Said, you know what? I don't even care about fitting in. I'm going to try my best to make it through this first school year by being me. First of all, the Mean Girls clique, it wasn't really, in retrospect, no one even liked them, for one. No one liked them, and they only had a friend group of about, 4 to 5 girls? And then I guess people maybe were a little bit, I don't even want to say envious, but in all of them, but no one necessarily in that school seemed to like them. Yeah, I mean, I never seen no one smiling when they was walking past. They was just more like, oh, there they go. Like, that's them. But it wasn't like, oh, I love them. No, it wasn't that at all. So not only were they not liked, there was only about 5 people in that friend group. So it was a very small circle. Now, if Lindsay Lohan would have decided, you know what, I'm going to just do me, she may have ended up with maybe just one friend. Maybe she would end up with 2 friends. But they would have been friends that actually resonated with who she actually was. They would have been friends that probably ended up still being friends to this day in 2022. So that's the disadvantage. Like, once you start switching your vibration up, start trying to be something that you're not, you attract those energies. Then once you get caught up once you get caught up in those energies, you feel fraudulent. You know what I mean? You feel pretty damn fraudulent to even go back on who you've been pretending to be. So you're kind of like stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You know this ain't you, but you can't be yourself now, because then people will know you haven't been being yourself. So now you just got to be this, which ain't you. So you're locked out of your life purpose right there. You'll never get there. You've been locked out. You're cut off. You feel me? So you cannot please everyone all the time. All you can do is be you. Those who bang with you will bang with you heavier if you're doing you. Like, I've been in massive scenarios where this has happened, but I'll say musically right now is a great example. Like, if you go, I got a new song, You and I, out right now. Go check that out. Now, if you listen to my music, I don't know what you would call it. Let me know in the comments. But I know it's not necessarily like, I don't know, the stuff I'm gonna put out next may be a little bit more trappy, but you'll see. Yeah, I mean, my shit is a little different. It's good though, but it's a little different, right? So with that being said, yeah, I could follow the protocol of what's trending right now. Like there's an absolute sound right now, like da 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 da. Yeah, I mean, but there's certain protocols I could follow to make sure that I had something that would be considered as a viable trending hit. But with that being said, where would I be in that? You know what I mean? And yeah, I could get a viable hit from that. Yes. And you'll see artists who do stuff like that. Like, let me pick a big artist because there are great iconic artists who are themselves who still know how to get into that bag. So it's not like you gotta leave. You don't have to be when I say popular, I don't mean popular to the masses. I mean, I guess pop culture. You don't have to necessarily be you don't have to be no straight square or no straight lane to be yourself. But what you have to realize is being yourself is cool. Like, that is the cool thing. You know what I mean? Not being yourself, that's what makes you a square or a lame or whatever you want to call it. But once you tap into that energy and you're yourself, that's what makes that shit dope. Why? Being yourself, being the only person on the planet, and this depends on what you're doing. For me, I create content, I rap, so I'm highly putting myself out there to be. So in that regard, it brings about setting trends, it brings about being the first to do certain things. But no matter who you are, if you show up as yourself, you're going to attract good things to come to you. Like I said, you're going to attract your life purpose. Even if you show up as yourself somewhere. This just happened to me not that long ago. You could show up as yourself somewhere and they don't like who you are and they reject the hell out of you. But even with that rejection, it will still be aligning you for something that's more in line with your purpose. You feel me? So at the end of the day, you never want to neglect who you are. Basically, it's really like throwing yourself in the trash. When you say, nah, I ain't got it. I'm going to just do what they're doing. It's literally like you're in that moment, you're like, take my soul out, crumple it up, and not even in the trash. Just like throwing it down the garbage. Just throw it down there. Alright, it's disposed of. Let me put on this pseudo mask and be what others expect me to be. And let me never accomplish what I was truly put here to be. So, another thing is, once you step into who you are, just like I said, you'll start to attract who resonates with you. Same thing with the job scenario I just mentioned. You'll start to detract who no longer resonates. If they're not on your vibe, if you guys just aren't on the same level, or like a lot of times you stepping into your purpose could irritate the next person. Start to notice people are irritated by you shining, to now let you know the level of resonance both of you guys are on. If it's someone that you need to still kick it with, or if it's someone that need to skedaddle. You feel me? So, but you'll only know this if you operate as yourself. If you're always scared, that's another thing. You can't be scared to leave people, places, or things behind in the sake or for the sake of you actually becoming who you're meant to become. Like, let's use, kind of think. What do I want to? I love examples. We use a job. if I've been at a job, goodness gracious, y'all tell me my mic been slipping like that, like DMX, slipping, falling. Hold up, y'all. Tighten it up enough. All right. All right, yeah, so if you're working a particular job, I work as a caregiver. I'm a CNA, so sometimes I work inside the nursing homes, and sometimes I work inside of like private duty where I'm just going to people's cribs. So if you work these jobs, you get really close to your clients, and also you get close as far as a work relationship is considered to your company. Like that company knows they can depend on, especially if you're a good worker. Like they know you're dependable. If they ever need someone, if they need someone to cover a shift in the blink of an eye, you'll do it. Or if there's a shift that just opened up that's a little more complicated, they know you're someone that can get the job done. So that's a situation to where, but you get paid well, so you've been, that's why you've been there. You've been there for 10 plus, whatever. But now you're being called to go somewhere else on your path. Do you care about what this job will think? Care about what they'll say, or do you make sure that you're following what you're being led to do, which is your life purpose? So that's what we're talking about as far as sometimes it does take being selfish. Like when you start stepping into who you are, you got to be selfish sometimes. And hopefully, and when I say selfish, I don't mean you have to be ignorant. You don't have to be shady, but you also don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty. And, you can talk to people and let people know where you're at in your life and what's going on, and not fit for me or whatever it is. It's going to be a great fit for me because this is exactly where I'm at in my life. So at the end of the day, you can only do that by knowing who you are. So how do you cultivate knowing who you are? One thing I'll say, and this is going back to childhood, because everyone's different. I've literally have ran into people who've lost who they were like so damn long ago. It's like I don't even know if this person could find that motherfucker. That person, whoever this person was, has been flushed out long ago, and now they just keep picking up different characteristics and personality traits of other people. So I've seen that case. But what I will say is happening to your childhood. A lot of things that I'm doing right now are things that I ultimately always wanted to do. There are things that like rapping, content creation, no, but I always was that kid that got put in the corner for talking or had to sit next to the teacher's desk for holding heavy conversations that just went on through the whole class. You know what I mean? So I've always been that type person. I could have actually had a friend maybe when I was like 17 tell me that she had a dream about me and I was speaking on stage. So I've always kind of known that this was like speaking of some sort. I was going to school to be a teacher. I've always known that, okay, speaking is one of those things that's on my path. But there are things as you grow up that kind of can shake you off your path. Just the idealism of being comfortable alone. The ideal of, or the idea of going to college 4 years, getting that comfy job, setting up, putting money into your 401k every pay, and then that's it. Like you're being set up for failure just with that idea. And when we talk about being privileged versus maybe growing up in a and not like I grew up pretty good, computer, video games, bikes, whatever I wanted. We had vacations, all that stuff. But I'm just saying, as far as the scale goes, the true facts of the matter on the economic scale of America, lower class, and technically really worse than lower class because I grew up middle class, which is lower class times 10. Because when you grow up in the middle class, you don't get all the perks like assistance. You don't get, you can't get the food stamps. You can't get the good assistance. So you're actually living with a lot less than someone who is on like welfare or something. getting the extra pluses, you know? Not to say you're living worse, but you're not getting the extra pluses, you know? Your household is going to choose to definitely buy them meals and cook them meals that stretch a little bit more than a household that gets a stack and stamps. You feel me? So ultimately, when you're dealing with being in the lower end of the economic class, your mind is going to be shifting as you grow up. And you can be, yeah, I want to rap, or I want to be a writer, or I want to be whatever you want to be. But as you start to grow up and you start to see around you and you start to hear, you start to kind of propagate it to you, even when you look at the history they teach us. Not to say we should definitely learn about slavery, but we need to be learning about way more people that really, really made it. Like, at the end of the day, George Washington Carver, great person to talk about. But why are we only discussing peanuts and like peanut butter? Why are we keeping it that basic? And I could even see that in kindergarten. Like, all right, that's how y'all introduce him to it. But by the time we get to like 6th grade, we should be learning more advanced things that he did. Like, this man, he was a true scientist. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So we're being cultivated to have a limited mind state. So that means whatever we dreamed of, we wanted to be when we were 5, 6, 7, is kind of being extracted out of us slowly but surely as we're growing up. Unless we do live in a situation where we have someone who's cheerleading, and that person's probably able to cheerlead because they have broken the mold. They've broken the cycle. They're not in poverty. They can see beyond the glass ceiling to be able to tell you there's something beyond the glass ceiling, right? A lot of us have grown up in situations where we couldn't see beyond. We couldn't even see the glass ceiling. We didn't even know there was a glass ceiling to even know there was something to bust through to get beyond that, right? So at the end of the day, with that being said, it's going to be about, now that you're grown, and if you're a kid on here watching this, and you live in, like, you're not rich, you're not high middle class, you're in lower class situation, this is to let you know, and you probably do know, because we got the internet now. So you're seeing kids like you going beyond the glass ceiling every day. But no matter how the world shifts, no matter what, just always keep what you hold near and dear to you. Whatever your talents are, whatever your interests are, whatever you like, hold those things near and dear to you, because those are the things that you're going to use as your tools to basically walk your life path, and it's going to gain you your success. Now, for my adults, if you are now grown and it has been sucked out of you, who you truly are or what your true ambitions are, I say you have to tap back in. You have to really go back into your memory bank. And like, this ain't like, not no chill shit, like really, like, spend some time. Take 20 to 30 minutes out of your day where you have nothing on, and really recap your life and think about, like, start thinking about, like, what did I used to do when I was a kid? What did I enjoy doing? Like, for me, I had a whole spree where I was just making TikTok dances. I'm sure people were like, what the hell? Didn't know dance, but it's like, no, when I was a kid, I used to dance, and even now I love to dance. It's something that makes me smile, makes me happy, gives me like really good energy spiritually. So that was one of the things that, even if I'm not going to dance to really truly try to be a dancer, I had to tap into that part of me and remember, like, oh no, dancing makes you feel great. That's why you was dancing like Michael Jackson all the time, because you not to be like, oh, look at me, I can dance. No, because that you like to do it. It made you smile. So I want you to really take some time out, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it may be, and start really playing back your childhood, the things that really filled you up with a feeling of glee, a feeling of happiness, a feeling of I could do forever. I mean, you know how many kids play video games and that's what they wanted to do? Now there's ways for you to really tap in, go to school and see how you can become either a professional gamer, or how you can become someone who tests the games, how you can become someone who creates the games, how you can create games on your cell phone through apps. So anything that you wanted to do is actually a reality. The thing is, we grew up in a time where none of this was really predicted either. We didn't know we was going to have access to all of these people. Basically, when I say all of these people, I mean the whole world, literally. Now, if you can get the whole world to respond, that's another thing. But imagine in 1992, you told someone, you know, there's going to be a time where you can just send the president of the United States a message or tag him in a post and he may respond to you. Or did you know there would be a time where you could tag your favorite star and they'll just say, hey, thanks for your comment, or what's up, or say something back, or hit your DM up. You know what I mean? Or did you know there will be a time where you can literally learn how to create these video games? No, we didn't know any of this was going to happen. So that's another reason why it was a lot easier for us to kind of give up on who we were. Like me as an example, yo. And I don't know if I told this story on here before, but how I got back into rap was not because I was just like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, nah, that shit was sucked out of me, y'all. My rap partner, Regina, she passed in 2005. And from there, I gave up rap. My guy, Reese Malachi, I get to him. You see me, so Reese is the other guy. He passed, I want to say, in like 2012, which was another huge blow. But yeah, so I had given up on rap, and I didn't get back to it. So like I said, 2005 is pretty much when I stopped rapping, period. And the crazy part is, Regina dropped the mixtape that I was heavily featured on in 2005, like literally maybe a month before she got murdered. So that mixtape came out. If there was like 10 songs, I was probably on like 5 or 6 of the songs. That's what we did. We rapped together. We had a great sound. Like that was my rap partner for life. That probably the best person I ever rapped with, where we really had that connection, that feel. We knew how to bounce off each other. Like it was a good vibe. So 05 all the way to 2016. That's 11 years later before I decided this is what I'm going to do. And it's not because I said, no, I miss rap so much. No. I had always still been like freestyling in my head, so I never lost the skill of just how to, put some shit together. And I always kept up with looking at my phone and just seeing me post a picture of her. So, and I always kept up with the new sound, so I always knew I could always bounce in and still sound relevant while maintaining my own sound. But the thing that made me want to rap is I was looking for something to do for work. I think I was tired of being a CNA at the time. So I was kind of trying to figure that out on what I was going to do. And through me doing research on what's next, how to make money, and it was like how to make money independently. Like I wanted to not go to work. So through that, that's when I started seeing these videos, like making money off your music. And that's when I got thrown into this damn world of the real possibility. And it had been going on for some time, but because I came up in the era of you got to go to the major studio, spend that big bread, then you have to get the, pass it out or get the record deal and all that. I didn't know. I wasn't in it, so I didn't know how much this changed. I didn't understand. I didn't know we had digital distributors like DistroKid and TuneCore where you could just upload your music. So once I saw just one video, the research was on. Like, what? I could actually do this? I could really make a living? And the whole goal for me has always been, once I got back into it, was to make a living off of my music, off of my intellectual property. Even something like this, when I get on and talk, my intellectual property. No one else can give this message like I can give it. No one else is going to pull certain examples like I'm going to pull certain examples. So once I figured out that intellectual property was a real thing and you could really start making some bread off of it, that's when I was all in. Why did I say all of that? Because remember, I said as you grow up, things start to get sucked out of you. And those things will begin to get sucked out of you just based upon you not being able to see the reality of those things. So it's like, why even play myself on something that's not a possibility? Let me just go do some real regular, degular type ish and just throw my life purpose down the drain because it's not doable. But what we have to realize is your life purpose is doable. And for those of you who already know what it is, you didn't like the Most High Spirit, God, not shady like that. Will never put nothing on your soul like that. Nothing nagging you to get it done if you can't get it done. I promise you that. So even if it's something like, even right now, like I'm starting to see major results, major results that I wouldn't have thought was even possible when I first started. Like, okay, I did the research, so yeah, I knew you could get streams. I knew, but I didn't know if I could do it. So I still had to make the music, do all that, which has been, a lot. It's been a lot. But to get me to even more, like breaking down more barriers and like, okay, this is possible. Now this is possible. So the Most High ain't gonna put you nowhere you ain't supposed to be. And also, if you're born in this time, you're definitely more than equipped to get your life purpose done. You have every resource that you need. It's just more so about you tapping in. So being yourself, a lot of times, like I said, it really takes a lot of strength to tap into who you are. And another thing that we didn't even talk about is once you really tap into who you are, what you want to do, your ideals, how you feel personally about certain things, scenarios, situations, that's you literally getting to know yourself. Once you get to know yourself, just like with anyone else, like I could see a girl online, take her out on a date. Then that date could go all right. Like, all right, I was all right. Let me start hitting her up. Maybe we can go out a couple more times. Starting to get to know each other. Within that process, I'm going to realize either I like her or don't like her. So within this process, you get to realize who you are and actually begin to like build a real relationship with yourself and begin to like yourself. As you begin to like yourself and know who you are and the goals you want to accomplish, you're really not going to have too many people that can come in between those goals. Now, like I said, not about being selfish. It's just about actually making things be able to work. A lot of times people, it's not that they think you're selfish, people are selfish. A lot of times people will be selfish towards you and want you to jump when they want you to jump. So as you take on this new role of really walking in your truest light, being who you are, it's not about being selfish, it's about making sure you're not neglecting yourself. So at the end of the day, I really hope this was helpful. Like I said, the advice, if you didn't have the cultivation or someone who was cheerleading you on along the way, make sure you go back and think hard about what were those things you loved to do or what were the things that you even envisioned doing. We all had those moments in school where they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like my thing was always an entertainer or on TV or something like that. So start thinking about those things and then see if they're still in you. For some people, they may not. It might have evolved into something else. But if that thing's still in you, then work on that. I'm telling you, I almost guarantee you that's going to be the thing. So that's how you're going to begin to cultivate not only your inner child, but the true you. Once you do that, you can bring that true you out. I had to harvest. I went through a whole hermit mode where I wasn't really coming out. I was kind of healing my inner child, and I was getting comfortable, getting to know, especially as we evolve and grow, getting to know even this version of myself, especially through Schmovid, because a lot of that was challenging to go through. Just even being, a lot of us were we were forced into isolation. So if you didn't have family or anything around, thank God I did have family for like the first half. The second half, it was in my new place, which I don't mind. I don't mind being by myself because I like myself. So, but still in that time, I knew I was kind of evolving to another phase, to kind of where you're seeing me at now with the podcast and the music sounded good. Something spiritually, I could tell something was stirring up. So I stayed in the house. I really was comforting to myself, really kind to myself, and handled my business. And now we're here. So sit down with yourself. You can repeat this process not just one time, but just start, even speak to spirit, speak to God, and have them start to bless you with downloads or memories of things you used to like to do. Like I would say, ask for vivid memories, because then you'll tap in, you'll see it, you'll feel it. I mean, and you'll see if it still feels like, oh, that's it. My heart just felt like explode. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I hope this was helpful. Girl Janetha, we're going to play the intro as the outro, and then we're going to get out of here because I got to make some music. We'll be back on next Sunday, 6 p.m. If you have not yet checked out the song You and I by me, Janetha, go check it out. You can stream it, download it, buy it, or watch the lyric video, or just hear the song on YouTube, stream it on all digital platforms, whatever. Anything you could do would help a sister out. It's already growing. We want to keep adding more numbers to it, all right? All right, it's your girl, Janetha. I am out. What's up, Lauren? I appreciate you. Appreciate the love. I'm out. I'll be back on next Sunday at 6 p.m. I don't know what the topic will be yet, but it's going to be something good. I usually find it like the day before. So it'll be something good. Spirit will bring it to me. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Stay blessed. I'm out.
It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, I'm going live. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, I'm going live. Ether's world, Ether's world, Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Ether's world, Ether's world, Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Sit down with your girl and just relax. Just relax. Put it on the table while I'm showing y'all these stats. Facts. Stand tall, never laying on my back. No, damn, I spit the truth and in the comments y'all react. Y'all react. Trending topics, we got options. We gon' learn and we gon' pop shit. All the shit that's going on around us, damn, it's never stopping. Give you what you want. No, I give you what you need. Sit down at the table, take a seat. It's time to eat, yeah. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe, I'm going live. It's a vibe, it's a vibe, yes it is. It's a vibe, right, I'm going live. Ether's world, Ether's world, Ether's world, sit down with your girl. Ether's world, yeah, that's me. Ether's world, Ether's world, what? Sit down with your girl. Go grab a drink, get real comfy, sit down.